Welcome to the crypto predictions for the solar eclipse on September 21st, 2025. None of this is financial or investment advice. Read the disclaimer. If you're new here, I'm Jack. I'm an engineer gone crypto astrologer. I combine technical analysis with astrology. Beware of the spam in the comments below. Don't fall for those, and watch this video all the way to the end to get the crypto predictions. So we have on this September 21st solar eclipse a grand trine still with Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus. That's very, very positive. That's the backdrop. Pluto brings transformation. Neptune brings spiritual alignment and vision. And Uranus brings radical new technologies such as crypto, blockchain, and artificial intelligence, of course. But we have a solar eclipse coming up here on the 21st, and it is opposing Saturn and Neptune. So there's a little bit of caution there. Saturn can bring rewards if we've put in the hard work in the previous years and months. But it can also bring tough lessons in reality if we have not put in the hard work. We have not put in the discipline. So that's very important to note. There's a minor trine to Uranus and Pluto as well. And so that is definitely helpful. Uranus is a planet of crypto and technology. Pluto can bring explosive moves. It's also the planet of power and wealth. So we have that. That's a slight positive there. We'll definitely take that. The solar eclipse themes in our lives and on the world stage is letting go of perfectionism, as it's in Virgo, and letting go of obsession over details. It's a big reality check on something we've been working on, clearing the space for a brand new chapter. Eclipses always bring major shifts in our lives, in some area of our lives, based on which house it is occurring in our astrology chart. Taking action on your spiritual vision, so it's opposing Neptune. So we really want to reflect, because Neptune is retrograding. We want to reflect on what is our vision, what is our spiritual mission, why are we here? If you haven't gone deep into that, I could support you with that. I'll tell you more about my retreat coming up. But it's definitely a great time to meditate and reflect on what you really, really want to create in this life. Sudden breakthroughs, as Uranus can bring sudden changes and breakthroughs. Discipline versus escapism. So Saturn represents discipline, but Neptune can bring more of that escapism. So it's good to, just continue to be disciplined. And reality versus fantasy, very similar. We want to stay focused on, well, in this case, on the charts, want to stay focused on what is really happening in our reality versus getting lost in fantasies and try to escape reality. Okay, so the Bitcoin astrology specifically on this solar eclipse is very simple. The main transit we have here is Jupiter sextiling Bitcoin Saturn. Jupiter can bring big expansion. Jupiter is in the sign of Cancer where it's exalted, so that's very good. Making a positive sextile to the Bitcoin Saturn. Saturn is that discipline, slow and steady growth. If we put in the hard work, we get in the rewards. So this could be positive overall. If there is some sort of a correction, I would be buying that dip. Not financial advice, just what I'm thinking, because this is quite positive for Bitcoin and likely for the larger crypto. Now for the Bitcoin BlackRock ETF, Jupiter, the planet of expansion, is also opposing the IBIT Sun, which can represent a culmination point. So that's, not bad. I'll take that. Jupiter can bring that expansion. We'll see what happens. September 21st, Ethereum astrology, as Ethereum typically leads the altcoins and, in an altcoin run. Jupiter is squaring the Ethereum Uranus. So that's not necessarily negative, but, Jupiter, the planet of expansion, is making a hard square to Uranus. We'll see. It could bring a little correction, but I would definitely be buying the dip, personally. Saturn is also trining the Ethereum Saturn. That's really interesting. So all of the hard work that Ethereum has put in, all the developers have put in the last few years, as the Ethereum price was going down, at least this year, the price is going down quite a lot. The hard work could pay off with Saturn trining the Ethereum Saturn, which represents that, kind of a culmination. Saturn is also trining the Ethereum Chiron. The theme is laying to rest painful memories. So maybe we've had those painful memories with Ethereum a few months ago when it was dumping all the way down to, what, about 1,200, 1,300? And now what is it at? 4,600. Not so bad, eh? Let's lay to rest the painful memories of the past, the big dumps of the past, and let's move forward. Very positive. So September 21st, the ETHA BlackRock ETF, Ethereum ETF. We have Neptune sextiling the ETHA Pluto. That's positive. I'd say minor positive. Uranus, the planet of crypto, is sextiling the ETHA Sun. That's quite positive because Uranus is active since it just went retrograde. So the themes of Uranus are activated. It's making a positive sextile to the ETHA Sun. That's very positive. So any dips with Ethereum, I'm going to be buying because, I mean, the astrology is looking healthy right now. Now, Mars, I wouldn't pay too much attention to this, but, you know, Mars is going to be transitioning into Scorpio. That's kind of a neutral sign. Bitcoin does neutral when Mars is in that sign. Now, typically, Bitcoin seasonality month by month, typically Bitcoin, the worst month is September for Bitcoin. We'll see what happens. We actually closed in the red in August. So there's actually a possibility that September could flip green, actually. So, yeah, I think that could be a real possibility. We'll see. If we do get a correction, we'll see if how quickly crypto can rebound. Now, let's take a look at the charts, shall we? Bitcoin is holding up well so far. We dumped on September 1st to 107. And actually, you know, so far, September has been a very green month. If we look here, I mean, we started right here and we have just gone up. So we are still up 7% in September. So far it's already green. So if we continue upwards, I mean, who knows what's going to happen, but let's say we go up a little bit more maybe. And let's say we get a little bit of a correction on this solar eclipse. Not guaranteed. I don't even know how deep it's going to be. So we get a correction. We could still, I mean, even if we ended September down here, let's say we dump a little bit at 109, we're still going to close September in the green because we started September at around 107. So not bad. That's overall positive. Let's take a look at total two. This is the crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin. So these are the altcoins. This is including Ethereum. Now this is looking very strong. I mean, look at this trend line that we've had since June 22nd. We've just been skyrocketing. Sky rockets in flight. Boo! Afternoon delight. Okay, that's just a song from a silly Will Ferrell movie. But man, yeah, this trend line is looking good. And look at how we've, we dipped below this trend line in September. And then we've just pumped above it. So we'll see, ideally, if we can hold above this trend line, man. That'll be extremely good for the altcoins. But, I mean, we definitely, I mean, if we do have a correction, of course, we could, who knows? We could certainly correct down. It could be a healthy correction. But honestly, even if we stay above this level, 155 trillion, that would be a healthy support there for us to continue to head up. Or we might just continue to head up from here. Difficult to say exactly, but man, I'm overall bullish in Q4 of this year, so I'll explain more about that. So any weakness, I'm going to be buying. I mean, we are seeing a lot of strength in the market. We're seeing, especially for the altcoins, as the Bitcoin dominance continues to fall off. Wow. I mean, it looked for a second like the Bitcoin dominance might shoot up again, but man, we just actually broke down. We broke down these levels right here. And so, wow, we could be heading into a further altcoin run. We'll have to see if things continue. And take a look at Solana is really running the show right now. We just exploded upwards. And I'm actually holding some Solana coins on the Solana network, Jupiter, Pyth, Nosana, and those are doing well as well. I'm also a big fan of Peak. So just giving you guys a heads up on that. Solana is arguably leading the altcoin run, at least the last week or so. And that's looking very good. The main concern, to be completely honest, is this total 3 over Bitcoin. Total 3 minus USDT over Bitcoin. And on this chart, Ben Cohen's been talking a lot about. And basically every August, not every single one, but many previous Augusts where we have these arrows here, we have seen corrections. After this August, we saw a correction in the next 2 months. After this August, we saw a slight correction. And that means a correction for the altcoins. Over here, we actually saw it go up, and then 2 months later, it went down. Over here, we also saw a correction after August. So, it doesn't guarantee it, but just a slight something to be aware of, that we'll have to see where this closes. So far, it's looking great, but if we do get a surprise dump for the altcoins, that would be a bit concerning. If we like dump back all the way down here, something like that. If we close this month in the red, that would be more of a concern, but just something to be aware of. One positive thing is for this daily exchange volume, we were up very high back in the December peak, and then it's been falling off. Then we picked back up in July, and then we dropped again, slight concern. But now it looks like we could be building another, that's basically a higher low. Yeah, that's a little bit higher than the low back in August. So that's actually a really good sign that we could be building out a higher low, which means we could have further upside to go. This is a very interesting chart. This is the S&P 500, the yellow line here, and then the red line is the 5-year averages for the S&P 500. And it actually shows a peak September 22nd, which is the day after this solar eclipse. And then it kind of falls down for a brief correction there into October. So there is a chance we could get a healthy correction. Yeah, possibly around this solar eclipse. Zooming way out much more into the long term, this is a very, very critical, important chart. This is the U.S. government interest payments. That's the blue line there. And then we have the Fed balance sheet in the white and the updated Fed balance sheet in the yellow. And if you take a look at how high the U.S. government interest payments owed, just completely skyrockets. And this went way higher than we did back in the COVID, market reset, when we had a huge dump and then the Fed printed a tremendous amount of money. They would need to print even more money than COVID to cover all this debt. Now, we do have a president, Mr. Trump, who actually loves debt. He's loved debt his whole life. That's how he's built his wealth. So there is a pretty likely opportunity that they could print a tremendous amount of money. And it looks like it needs to happen soon, or at least in the next year or two. And typically that makes crypto go to the moon. We haven't seen that happen yet. We haven't really had the money printer turn on, metaphorically speaking. But when it does, this could send crypto to the moon. So this arguably could even send crypto. I mean, look at the date on the bottom, November 2027. That's crazy. It could even, I actually don't think it's going to go that far out, but it could potentially. There is a possibility. I wouldn't bet all my money on it, but I'm just saying it's possible that we could get a major crypto run even next year. So this could go much further, but we shall see. I also have this other chart I want to show you that's more practical, because this is more shorter term what we're seeing. This is a GMI weighted global city economic versus inflation surprise index with a 5-month lead. But just take a look at how it's affected the Bitcoin year over year percent, which is the Bitcoin year over year is the red line, and the black line is the first thing that I mentioned. And take a look, when the black line goes up, Bitcoin goes on a huge bull run. And that was, so back here was the, actually let me go back. Back here was the 2021 bull run. Bitcoin and crypto went crazy. Then it was low in 2022. Then it started shooting up in 2023. We had a nice start of the bull run there. And it's actually been going down ever since 2023, which really makes sense why, you know, a lot of our altcoins haven't done much since then. But then look at in basically Q4 of this year, which starts in a couple weeks here, where it just absolutely skyrockets. So there's actually a chance we could get a mega bull run and altcoin run then. So that's looking really good. Now, the Fed is set to very likely cut rates September 17th. So if they cut rates, that's great. If they don't, that's terrible. We could get a huge dump. But it looks like most likely this is the scenario. But a lot of it depends on what he says in the meeting as well. If he says they're going to continue cutting rates into the future, that's going to be super bullish and send us to a major crypto run most likely. But if he says we're not planning to cut anymore, which actually is totally possible. The fact that this solar eclipse is opposing Saturn could bring some tough lessons and some real practicality as it's in Virgo. So there's actually a chance he might even say, especially since the CPI data was fairly high a few days ago, he might say they cannot plan to cut rates into the future, and that would potentially dump crypto in the short term. But I'm still bullish over into the next few months. Definitely subscribe if you haven't already, if you're liking this video. That's one of the number one things you can do to support this channel. I'm making these videos for free, so I really appreciate your support. And a quick announcement, the Crypto Astro Awakening Retreat, November 1st through 7th. This is going to be an absolutely incredible retreat in the incredible, beautiful island of Bali. This is for you if you aim to maximize your profits towards the market peak, guys. We could be heading towards a market peak in November. That is a sneak peek of what I've been seeing, looking at all the astrology, all of the amazing macro market, analysis charts that I have access to. It's looking like we could be heading into a peak in November. And this retreat is perfectly timed to maximize your profits around that time. So by November, we could see one of the biggest crypto bull runs in history, and this retreat is perfectly timed for you to maximize your profits towards the peak. Now, what if you could get all of these incredible things, read through this, the art of the crypto astrology, you can learn one-on-one from me, and expert guest astrology teacher I will be having at the retreat, crypto peak profit sessions. You can get one-on-one with me to maximize your wealth potential. So I will personally guide you to help you looking at your astrology and also looking at your personal goals, your current financial situation. You know, everybody has a different financial situation. We're going to zoom in on exactly what you want to accomplish and create a personalized strategy for you to truly maximize your profits. So many people did not sell towards the market peak in the last bull run, and they lost their hard-earned gains. We are not going to let that happen to you when you attend this incredible retreat. You're going to get amazing meals, sacred spring water baths, optional healing session with a Balinese healer, optional channeling and spiritual guidance. It's going to be absolutely amazing. It's going to change your life. You're going to have excursions to Bali's most magical sites and group calls with me before the retreat coming up very, very soon. So the final 3 spots are due September 30th. Okay? We only have 3 spots left. You got to jump on this now because you got to book your flights, and November is actually one of the most affordable times to come. So I did that purposely so you could have an affordable flight, affordable stay. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Actually, your stay is covered. So you get that. And it's only a $150 deposit to save your spot, guys. I'm making it as easy as possible. So no more excuses. If you feel the call, click the link below and sign up. We will get you on this incredible retreat with amazing people that you can mastermind with and relax in paradise, achieve financial freedom like you've always wanted, and envision a regenerative future. All right, so I have this huge vision of decentralized sustainables community around the planet. And I've created a vision and also an amazing app that I've put together this year that makes this vision possible. And I want to mastermind with you guys for anyone who's aligned with this vision of decentralized sustainable communities, building a regenerative future for ourselves and future generations. I believe we are here to make a positive change in this place. So if you also align with that and if you're curious, definitely join on this retreat. So 3 more spots. All you got to do is click that link below. you will also, there might be a pop-up that comes up and you could get an incredible deal. So if that pop-up comes up, that means there's still a discount spot available. You want to jump on that immediately. Make that deposit, register to claim your spot, and ride the 2025 wave with clarity and soul. So the crypto predictions, the moment you've been waiting for. I'm seeing a possible correction or consolidation for the crypto markets within 1 to 2 weeks of September 21st. But really, a lot of it depends on the Fed Chair Powell, what he says at the Fed meeting. If he's more hawkish, then we could definitely get a correction. If he's more bullish, then less of a correction. But usually, typically after we get, sometimes these events when the Fed cuts rates can be a buy the rumor, sell the news type events. So we'll see. And especially with the solar eclipse, I'm definitely leaning towards somewhat of a correction. But let's say give or take 1 to 2 weeks of September 21st. But leaning into a very, very bullish Q4, all right, because overall it looks very good. So I am personally buying the dip. That's what I'm thinking. You make your own financial decision. Share this video if you got some value from it. Share it with someone who is into crypto and open-minded and into astrology. And definitely subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.